Hello. It's wonderful to share simple discoveries for a happy and active life with you again. Tell me, does this feeling sound familiar? You wake up in the morning and it feels like you have no energy left? Or by midday, your battery drains so quickly that you just want to lie down and think about nothing? Perhaps your joints ache more often than before, your head feels heavy, and it seems like joy has vanished somewhere? With age, after 65, our body, of course, doesn't work the same way it did at 30 or 40. Metabolism slows down, cells don't regenerate as quickly, fatigue accumulates. But you know what the most frustrating part is? Very often, we ourselves, without noticing, add fuel to the fire, accelerating these processes with our everyday ingrained habits. Like quiet, unnoticed thieves, day by day, they steal our energy, vitality, and even years of active life. These can be seemingly harmless things: a cup of overly sweet tea, long hours in front of the TV, or a missed glass of water. Seems trivial, right? But these little things, like drops wearing away a stone, slowly but surely erode the foundation of our health. But what if I told you, much of this can be changed, and it doesn't require heroic efforts or strict diets. It's enough just to slightly adjust some of these quiet thieves. I promise you that after you apply even just a couple of the tips we'll talk about today, you'll feel a surge of energy, lightness in your body, and clarity in your mind. These are simple steps, accessible to everyone. Let's break down 7 such insidious traps together and, most importantly, learn how to easily and stress-free avoid them. Stay with me until the end, and you'll be surprised how many hidden reserves of vitality and well-being you have inside you. So, the first habit that can subtly drain your energy right from the morning is either skipping breakfast or having a breakfast consisting of fast carbohydrates. You know, a sandwich with white bread and jam, sugary cereals, a pastry with tea. It seems quick, convenient, and even tasty. But what's really happening? You give your body a sharp spike in blood sugar. It's like a firework display, bright but very short-lived. First, a burst of energy, and then, just an hour or an hour and a half later, a sharp drop, fatigue, drowsiness, and the desire to snack again, often on something sweet or starchy. This creates a roller coaster for your blood sugar and mood throughout the day. Therefore, it's crucial to replace a fast and empty breakfast with a balanced one. Let it contain slow carbohydrates, providing long-lasting energy, protein for satiety and the body's building needs, and fiber for good digestion. This could be oatmeal, not the instant kind, with berries and nuts, a couple of eggs with whole grain toast and a slice of avocado, or cottage cheese with herbs and vegetables. I remember Arthur's story. He was 72 years old. For his whole life, he had breakfast with tea and 2 sandwiches, white bread loaf, butter, sausage, cold cuts, or jam. He'd say, "I've been used to this since I was young. Why change anything at my age?" But he complained that by 11 a.m., he felt worn out, like a squeezed lemon, and couldn't go on without a cup of coffee and a cookie. His granddaughter spent a long time persuading him to try plain oatmeal, cooked on water, with a handful of frozen blueberries and a spoonful of walnuts. Arthur grumbled, saying it was bird food, but agreed to the experiment for a week for his beloved granddaughter's sake. The first couple of days, he ate without much enthusiasm, habitually expecting the usual energy crash. But, to his surprise, it didn't happen. He noticed that he calmly made it to lunch without feeling hungry or tired. Moreover, his mind felt somehow clearer in the mornings. He later recounted, "You know, it's like I used to fuel my car with cheap gas. It would sputter, jerk, and stall quickly. But now I've put in quality fuel, and the engine runs smoothly, powerfully, without interruptions." Physiologically, it's simple. The slow carbs from the oatmeal, fiber from the berries, and healthy fats and protein from the nuts gave him a stable blood sugar level, nourishing his brain and muscles evenly and for a long time. Psychologically, he felt in control of his condition, rather than dependent on the next dose of sugar. The practical benefit for you is obvious. Stable energy levels during the first half of the day, improved concentration, reduced cravings for sweets and unhealthy snacks, better digestion. Start the day by taking care of yourself with the right fuel. It will set the tone for your entire day. Try it for at least a week and listen to how you feel. But a proper start to the day isn't just about food. There's another simple but incredibly important thing we often forget, And this is the second insidious habit: insufficient consumption of plain water. Many of us drink less as we age. Firstly, the sense of thirst can diminish, and we simply don't feel the need. Secondly, we often replace water with tea, coffee, juices, or compotes, thinking it's the same thing. But it's not. Tea and coffee have a diuretic effect, meaning they can even contribute to dehydration. And juices and compotes often contain a lot of sugar. Our body, for all its countless processes, from brain function to toxin removal, needs plain water specifically. A lack of water is like driving a car with low oil. Everything starts to work intermittently, overheat, and wear out faster. This can manifest as headaches, fatigue without cause, constipation, dry skin, brain fog, and even increased blood pressure. So, what can you do? Make plain water your primary drink throughout the day. You don't need to force down liters. Start small. Place a nice glass or bottle of water in a visible spot and take a few sips every hour. You can add a slice of lemon, cucumber, or a few mint leaves to your water if you prefer the taste. I remember Eleonora. She was 68 years old. She constantly complained about fatigue, frequent headaches, and bowel problems. Yet, she assured me she drank enough: coffee in the morning, several cups of tea during the day, and a glass of kefir in the evening. She hardly drank any plain water, saying, "Why? It's tasteless." She was convinced her ailments were just age-related. I advised her to try a simple experiment: buy herself a nice water bottle and set a goal to drink it, e.g. 0.75 liters, throughout the day, in addition to her usual drinks. Eleonora was skeptical but decided to try. A week later, she called me and told me in amazement, "Can you imagine? My head hardly aches anymore. And, forgive the detail, but my bowel movements have become regular like clockwork." A couple of weeks later, she noted she felt more energetic, and the skin on her hands was less dry. What happened? Her body finally received enough lubrication for all its systems. Her brain cells functioned better, some of the brain fog and headaches disappeared, intestinal peristalsis improved, and metabolic processes normalized. Water isn't just a liquid. It's the medium in which all biochemical reactions in our body occur. It's like clean air for our lungs. Absolutely essential. The practical benefit for you is huge: improved brain function, mental clarity, concentration, normalized digestion, increased energy levels, better skin condition, support for joint and kidney health. Make friends with water. Let it become your simple and accessible elixir of vitality. A few sips every hour, it's so simple. And when your body receives enough life-giving hydration, it's the perfect time to think about helping it stay mobile. Because the third insidious habit, which quietly but steadily steals years of active life from us, is hypodynamia, meaning a lack of movement. Prolonged sitting in one place is especially insidious: in front of the TV, with a book, doing crafts, or at the computer. It seems like we're resting, but actually, during this time, blood circulation slows down, especially in the legs, muscles weaken, joints stagnate, and the lymphatic system, responsible for cleansing the body, works less efficiently. It's like stagnant water in a pond. It gradually blooms with algae and becomes unsuitable for life. Similarly, our body without movement becomes more sluggish, prone to swelling, edema, back and joint pain, and even a worsening mood. There's a way out. Replace long periods of sitting with short, regular movement breaks. You don't necessarily need to join a gym or run marathons. Regularity and accessibility are key. Make it a rule to stand up every hour and move for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Walk around the room, do a few simple stretches, dance to your favorite music, step out onto the balcony to get some fresh air. If possible, a short walk in the fresh air works wonders. George, a 75-year-old history enthusiast, could sit for hours in his armchair with a book or watch documentaries. He complained of stiffness in the mornings, knee pain, and constant apathy. "Old age is no joy," he sighed. Any talk about exercise met with rejection. "Where would an old man like me jump? I'll only make it worse." His daughter proposed a compromise, not exercises, but simply the 5-minute rule. Every time a commercial came on TV, or every hour if he was reading, stand up and just walk around the apartment, do a few bends, rotate his shoulders. At first, George did this reluctantly, just ticking a box. But after just a couple of weeks, he was surprised to notice that getting up from the chair became easier, his knees bothered him less, and after his 5-minute breaks, he felt more energetic. He even started taking short walks around his building before lunch. It turns out, he later shared, my joints weren't aching from old age, they were just rusting from lack of movement. Now it feels like I've lubricated them. Physiologically, it's explainable. Movement improves blood flow, delivering oxygen and nutrients to tissues, including joint cartilage, and helps maintain muscle tone and flexibility. Psychologically, even small amounts of physical activity stimulate the production of endorphins, the happiness hormones, improving mood and reducing stress levels. For you, this means reduced joint and back pain, improved circulation and heart function, increased tone and mood, prevention of swelling and stagnation. Movement is life at any age. Find simple movements that you enjoy and make them part of your day. Your body will thank you for it. Movement, of course, burns calories, but it's crucial what quality those calories are. And here lies the fourth trap: frequent consumption of foods high in sugar and so-called processed foods. This isn't just candy, cakes, and sugary drinks. It also includes white bread, pastries made from white flour, many ready-made sauces, processed meats, like sausages and cold cuts, semi-prepared meals, convenience foods, and canned goods with added sugar. We often reach for them seeking comfort, quick energy, or simply out of habit. But these foods are like a Trojan horse for our health. They cause sharp blood sugar spikes. Remember the roller coaster from the breakfast story. Contribute to weight gain, promote chronic inflammation in the body, which underlies many age-related diseases from arthritis to heart problems, and provide very few beneficial nutrients, vitamins, minerals, fiber. These are empty calories that take more than they give. What can be done? Gradually replace sweets and processed foods with whole, natural ones. Instead of candy, a piece of fruit or a handful of berries. Instead of white bread, whole grain or rye. Instead of processed meat, a piece of boiled or baked meat, poultry or fish. Instead of ready-made sauce, plain yogurt with herbs, or a little olive oil with lemon juice. Cook simple meals at home from understandable ingredients. Margaret, who was 70, loved sweets. Tea without cookies or waffles was unthinkable for her. She often bought ready-made patties or dumplings to avoid the hassle. Meanwhile, she suffered from excess weight, joint pain, especially in her knees, and often felt tired, particularly after lunch. Well, what can you do? It's age, she'd say. And how can one live without little joys? Her doctor advised her to try reducing sugar and chemicals in her diet. Margaret was initially scared. Does that mean I have to eat only grass now? But the doctor suggested starting small. Replace store-bought cookies with dried fruits or nuts with her tea, and instead of ready-made patties, try making them herself from ground meat and freezing them for later. Margaret agreed, albeit without much enthusiasm. Imagine her surprise when, after a month, she noticed it was easier to move. Her knees hurt less, the swelling went down. She even lost a couple of kilograms without much effort. And most importantly, that exhausting drowsiness after meals disappeared. She started making simple soups, baking fish with vegetables. I feel like I've rediscovered the taste of food, she rejoiced. Turns out simple food can be so delicious. And most importantly, I feel lighter and more energetic. What happened? Reducing sugar and processed foods lowered the level of chronic inflammation in her body, hence the relief from joint pain, stabilized her blood sugar levels, eliminating energy crashes, and provided her body with necessary nutrients. It's like clearing clutter and junk from a house. It immediately becomes easier to breathe and move. The benefit for you is weight stabilization, reduced inflammation and pain, increased energy levels, improved digestive system function, and prevention of type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular diseases. Choose food that nourishes you, not depletes you. Your body is a temple. Treat it with respect and love by choosing the best for it. When we start nourishing our bodies properly, we have more strength and energy. And this is where it's important not to fall into another trap, the fifth one, which concerns not so much the physical body, but our mind and spirit. This is voluntary or forced isolation from social interaction and a lack of mental stimulation. With retirement, the loss of loved ones, or changes in the usual social circle, many older adults spend more and more time alone, often limiting themselves to passive TV watching. It might seem calmer, but it's actually a trap. Humans are social beings. Communication with others, exchanging opinions, emotions, support, All are necessary for our psychological well-being and even cognitive functions. And the brain, like muscles, needs training. If we don't give it new tasks, don't make it think, remember, analyze, it starts to get lazy, memory deteriorates, concentration decreases, and the risk of dementia increases. It's like an abandoned garden. Without care, it quickly becomes overgrown with weeds. That's why it's so important to seek opportunities for social interaction and nourish your mind. Don't shut yourself within four walls. Call an old friend or relative just to chat. Go to a meeting of an interest club, gardeners, book lovers, crafters. There are many such opportunities now. Sign up for a simple course. For example, computer literacy or drawing. Solve crosswords, Sudoku, play board games with grandchildren or friends. Read books that make you think. Memorize poems or a few phrases in a foreign language. Any new information and interaction is exercise for the brain. David, who was 78, became very withdrawn after his wife's death. He spent most of the day alone, watching the news or old movies. He became forgetful, absent-minded, and often complained about low mood and feeling useless. Who needs me now? And my mind isn't what it used to be. I forget everything, he told his son. Seeing his father's condition, his son literally persuaded him to go with him to a meeting of the local chess club. David resisted at first, saying he hadn't played in ages and had forgotten everything. But the very first games captivated him. He met other club members, started attending meetings regularly, discussing games, simply socializing. At the same time, he started doing crosswords again, which he used to love. After a few months, David was unrecognizable. The sparkle returned to his eyes. He became more focused. His memory improved. He enthusiastically talked about his chess battles, joked. "You know, I feel like I've woken up," he told his son. "Turns out, my mind can still work, and the people around are interesting. I've got my zest for life back." What happened? Social interaction and mental exertion, chess, crosswords, became the watering and weeding for his brain. Neural connections were re-established, brain blood flow improved, levels of neurotransmitters responsible for good mood and cognitive functions increased. Social interaction gave him a sense of belonging and significance. The practical benefit for you is invaluable. Improved memory, attention, and processing speed, prevention of cognitive decline and dementia, mood enhancement, reduced feelings of loneliness, finding new interests and purpose in life. Don't let your mind and soul get bored. Socialize, learn new things, be curious. This is the key to mental clarity and joy in life at any age. An active mind, warm connections, all these wonderfully fill our days. But for both mind and body to recover and serve us well for a long time, they need quality rest. And here lies the sixth, very common habit that directly affects our recovery and longevity, neglecting healthy sleep. Sleep-wake rhythms can change with age, and sleep might become lighter, but this doesn't mean the need for quality rest diminishes. On the contrary, it's during sleep that our body performs its spring cleaning and repairs. It repairs tissues, removes toxins from the brain, sorts, and consolidates information gathered during the day. An irregular sleep schedule, going to bed and waking up at different times, the habit of watching TV or using a phone, tablet before bed, heavy dinners, an uncomfortable bed, all interfere with the body's ability to rest fully. The result, morning grogginess, daytime sleepiness, worsened memory, irritability, reduced immunity. It's like trying to charge a phone with a broken charger. No matter how long you keep it plugged in, it won't fully charge. So, what to do? Create your own bedtime ritual and try to stick to a schedule. Go to bed and wake up around the same time, even on weekends. An hour or two before sleep, avoid bright screens, TV, computer, phone. Their blue light suppresses the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone. Instead, read a paper book, take a warm bath with herbs or salt, listen to calm music, drink a cup of herbal tea, caffeine-free. Air out the bedroom, make sure you're comfortable and it's dark. Don't eat a heavy meal before bed. Helen, 69, slept very restlessly. She often woke up during the night and felt in the morning as if she hadn't slept at all. Before bed, she liked to watch the news on TV right in her bedroom or scroll through news feeds on her tablet. What can you do? Insomnia is a companion of old age, she believed. I advised her to try changing her evening habits. Remove the TV from the bedroom, put away the tablet at least an hour before sleep, and instead, start a ritual. For example, 20 to 30 minutes of calm reading of a paper book under a dim nightlight and a cup of warm milk with honey. Helen agreed to try, though she didn't believe it would work. The first few nights were difficult. Her hand kept reaching for the tablet, but she persisted. And after just a week, she noticed a difference. Falling asleep became easier, and nighttime awakenings were less frequent. A month later, she joyfully reported, "I'm sleeping. You understand, I'm sleeping through the night and waking up rested." I had forgotten what that felt like. What happened? By eliminating the blue light from screens before bed, she allowed her body to produce melatonin normally. The regular ritual, reading, warm drink, became a signal for her brain that it was time to prepare for sleep. A consistent schedule helped reset her internal biological clock. Her body's night shift for repairs could finally work without interference. For you, this means improved sleep quality, increased energy levels and productivity during the day, strengthened memory and immunity, better mood, and emotional stability. Quality sleep is not a luxury, but a vital necessity. Take care of your sleep just as you take care of your diet or hygiene. It's the foundation of your health and well-being. So, these seemingly minor habits, from the morning sandwich to the evening TV viewing, can day by day affect our well-being, quietly stealing our energy and joy of life. But the good news is that it's within our power to change this. You have lived a long, full life, accumulated invaluable wisdom and experience. You've seen much, coped with difficulties, rejoiced in successes. And you, more than anyone, deserve for each new day to be filled not with struggles against fatigue and ailments, but with lightness, vitality, interest, and the warmth of connection. Don't view these tips as strict rules or yet another set of restrictions. See them as an expression of love and care for the most important person in your life, yourself. You don't need to change everything at once. Choose what seemed most important or easiest for you to start with. Maybe it will be a glass of water in the morning, or a 10-minute walk, or swapping cookies for an apple. Even one small step taken today is already movement towards better well-being tomorrow. Remember, self-care is not selfishness. It's the most important and reliable investment in your happy, active, and long tomorrow. Believe in your strength, listen to your body, and you will definitely succeed. Be healthy and full of energy.